Hello, my name is Rose. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be talking about my experience with my first trimester. If you've never seen one of my videos before or you're not subscribed to my channel and this is the first one of my videos that you're seeing, I am here to document my experience with my first pregnancy. Hopefully I have more. I just wanted to start by saying thank you to everybody who commented on one of my most recent videos called Finding Out I'm Pregnant, and then the one following that, my early pregnancy symptoms. It really meant a lot that so many people were commenting and sharing their experiences with me. It kind of really validated what I was going through at that time, and I just wanted to say thank you. Thank you for commenting. I enjoy reading your comments. I appreciate the interaction that we have. It's kind of hard, you know, when you're pregnant for the first time and you don't really know a lot of people your age who are also going through the first pregnancy. So when people reached out sharing their experiences, it was really comforting. So thank you. First of all, I just wanted to say when I found out I was pregnant, I was working, and it was very difficult to go through the ebbs and flows of being pregnant while working, being nauseous. And when we first found out we were pregnant, we were in Idaho. We wound up moving back to California because of better health insurance, and we wanted to be closer to family during this experience. Coming back to California, I decided it would be best if I didn't work and instead spend my time going back to school. But I just want to say I have mad respect for women who do work all throughout their pregnancy. I'm actually in my second trimester now, and I have had a lot of issues in my second trimester, more than my first. I've had to go to the urgent care, to the hospital. I've had a sinus infection. I had like digestive issues, and then extreme round ligament pain, and I just don't know how I would have coped or dealt with that if I had to get up and go to work every morning. I just feel like if I was still working, I probably would have called out way too many days. So much respect to women who stay working throughout their entire pregnancy. I salute you. That is really difficult, and I feel really blessed that I have the opportunity to stay home while my husband is working. And I don't really take that lightly. In fact, most days I kind of feel guilty about it. Anyways, so I tracked all of my pregnancy symptoms on my phone, so I'm going to be referring to my notes that I put here, just because I don't remember everything off the top of my head. But I guess I'll just start off with skin tags. Skin tags out of everything was the last pregnancy symptom that I expected to get. I didn't realize how quickly and how many new skin tags I would get all over my face, my body. I'm not really sure what to do about preventing them other than just wearing sunscreen, and hopefully after I'm not pregnant I can get them taken care of, but for now just deal with it. I also wanted to note that I actually didn't gain any weight in my first trimester. Midway through my first trimester I had a peak in nausea, and I actually lost weight. The last time I saw my doctor, I was still the same weight that I was when I first got pregnant, 140, and I asked my doctor about it and he wasn't really concerned. He said it's not a big deal as long as you are eating and you're not throwing up. And I said, no, I'm eating normally, I'm not throwing up. And so he wasn't concerned about it. The week that I found out that I was pregnant was actually week 4 of my pregnancy. I feel like it was just a pretty quick onset of all these symptoms, and in the middle of my first trimester all of these symptoms peak, and then when I got closer and closer to my second trimester all of them one by one like subsided to where I didn't really have many symptoms at the end of it. Week 4 I had tender breasts, allergies as in a stuffy nose, a strong sense of smell, dizziness because of low blood pressure, low back pain, increased amount of thirst. I was very emotional and sensitive. I had hot flashes, cervical mucus, itchy skin, but I was feeling excited all of that week, of course. One thing I didn't know before getting pregnant was that pregnancy can cause low blood pressure. If anything, I expected that your blood pressure would increase because I heard of a lot of women getting high blood pressure just during their pregnancy. So when my blood pressure at the beginning was low, and it still is low, I was kind of surprised. I didn't know that that was something to expect. Also, I wasn't expecting having a stuffy nose. I learned that your mucus everywhere like your cervical mucus, your nasal mucus, like everything just gets more wet. Like my mouth would water really hard, and when I had certain foods, I felt like my mouth would water so hard. It actually hurt, and it still hurts when I'm really hungry and I eat something really good. Week 5, I had all of the same symptoms, except some new symptoms were frequent urination, increased appetite, low energy. I started to have nosebleeds. I also started having cramps and digestive issues like feeling gassy, bloated, having constipation, and heartburn. And nausea started setting in. To be honest, I thought that nausea only came to women who were malnourished in some kind of way or people who were like maybe weren't that healthy. I thought because I consider myself a pretty healthy person that I wouldn't get nausea, and nausea isn't that bad. That's what I told myself in my head, and that a lot of women are just over exaggerating their symptoms. But when my nausea really peaked, it was very uncomfortable, very difficult. It would ruin my day. It would come when I was hungry. It would come first thing in the morning. It would come if I ate too much. It would come with certain foods like sour cream or avocados or even meat. Meat would just gross me out. Week 6 came around and I still had all the same symptoms, except they were progressively getting worse. But the new symptom that I had was that I was starting to crave salty foods. I really started having more and more fatigue. I had a little bit of fatigue in week 5, but it was really a struggle during week 6. I also started having anxiety during week 6. Week 4, I was very excited for obvious reasons. I wanted to get pregnant and it took so long. But then a week later, 2 weeks later, week 6, it started to really settle in like, oh my god, we're having a baby. I just felt overwhelmed. I felt like there was so much to be done before baby came. 3 days after we found out that we were pregnant, we found someone to rent out our house in Idaho so that we could go back to California. So I was just overwhelmed with the idea that we had to pack up our entire house and move back to California into possibly a small apartment, which we do have a small apartment now. Nothing wrong with small apartments, but downgrading from a 3-bedroom house to an apartment, a 1-bedroom apartment, can be really overwhelming, especially when you have furniture for 3 different bedrooms. It was just a lot to try to get rid of. So the anxiety started to increase during that time. I'm so thankful I didn't have a miscarriage, because at that time I was really scared that all the stress of having to move back to California was going to cause a miscarriage, and miscarriage was heavily on my mind. I would freak out when I saw posts or like YouTube videos talking about people's miscarriages, because they would say, oh, I had a miscarriage 7 weeks, 8 weeks, 12 weeks. Thankfully, I'm in my 2nd trimester. I made it out of those high-risk weeks, but it was something that was weighing heavily on my mind. Week 7, all the same symptoms, except I started having headaches, but generally all the same symptoms: anxiety, nausea, tender breasts, allergies, all of that. I have to change my battery. Hold on, Lucy. My battery is about to die, but I'll show you, Lucy. 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 I'm gonna change my battery. I think we're good. So we're back. I had to switch to my iPhone because both my batteries were dead for my camera and they have to charge now. Since I'm using my iPhone, what do you guys think in comparison? Hi, Lucy. I just realized I can't use my iPhone because all my notes are on my iPhone, so I'm gonna have to wait till my camera is done charging. Sorry. Okay, now we're back. Took forever. Okay, week 8, the food aversions were stronger than ever. Painful breasts, low back pain, cramping, frequent urination. Week 9. Week 9 was a little bit different because I started to have a metallic taste in my mouth, and honestly, that only lasted for that 1 week. Then for 3 days, I started to have right-sided cramping, and even though I had a couple days of relief here and there, the right-sided cramping just generally never went away, and in my second trimester, it developed into full-blown round ligament pain, which is actually one of the reasons why I went to the hospital, because I thought I had a kidney stone because the pain was so intense and persistent. Like, I just couldn't get a break. Let me know if you've had round ligament pain like that, because that was intense. I think it's getting better, I hope. It's the worst feeling ever. Let me know if you've ever experienced it. Week 10, I started to have acne, and honestly, the acne never went away. I still have acne every single day, and there's nothing I could do to make it go away no matter what I do. My biggest problem area for a long time was that the acne was right here, like right under my chin or on my jawline, which I've never gotten acne in those locations before. I also had some acne on my chest. Oh, I had like a patch on my throat and on the other side of my throat. Never had that before, and I just did a simple Google search and they said it's all hormone related. Week 10, I had all of the same symptoms that I had since week 4. You know, the frequent urination, the tender breasts, the allergies, the stuffy nose, the cervical mucus, itchy skin, and they were starting to get better around week 10, but something that was persistent was the frequent urination. And prior to getting pregnant, I had frequent UTIs, so I thought this was another UTI because I was thinking in my head, how can I have such an urge to go pee all the time at only 10 weeks pregnant? Isn't that only for women who are in their 3rd trimester? So I thought I had a UTI again. I went to urgent care and they did a culture, but they didn't even wait for the results to come back. They just treated me right away because they said they'd rather treat you first than make you wait with a UTI and then it develop into something else. I took an antibiotic and I took an antibacterial in case it was a yeast infection, and this frequent urination never went away. It's just my pregnancy symptoms, so I got treated for something I didn't even have. But it was a learning experience, and I hope it never happens again. Yikes. By week 11, a lot of my symptoms were starting to improve, so much so that the nausea that I was having started to decrease a lot. It was nearly gone. I still had dizziness because of my low blood pressure, but my boobs started to swell. They were starting to grow in size. My bras were starting to not fit. That was something new. And I still had the frequent urination. because duh, I didn't have a UTI. Week 12, the last week of the first trimester, my boobs were still swelling. They're still swollen. They're bound to grow, obviously, duh, because milk is gonna be coming in eventually. The nausea ended by week 12, thank goodness. One thing that I still had in week 12 and into my second trimester though was back pain, cramping, and then shortness of breath started to happen. All of those symptoms continued into my second trimester, which is expected. So that's about it. I'm in my second trimester now. I am 20 weeks pregnant as of today. Today is Saturday, but on Tuesday I'm gonna have my anatomy scan, and hopefully they don't accidentally give away the gender, because next weekend I'm gonna find out if it's a boy or a girl. And I don't care what we have. I'm just really thankful and blessed that I was able to get pregnant, because I know a lot of people struggle with infertility and I was one of them. The fact that I'm pregnant is a blessing alone, and I don't care if it's a girl or a boy. Either way, I'm gonna be so happy. Sorry it took so long to do this video. I wanted to do it a couple weeks ago when I first hit my second trimester mark, but I started to have a lot of aches and pains and discomforts right away into my second trimester that really made it too painful to even get out of bed, to do housework, to just take showers. I was in a lot of pain. I will talk about it more in the next video because I'm gonna do a 20-week update. So hopefully that'll be coming out soon, along with my gender reveal video that I plan on doing. If you want to see updates quicker than what I post on YouTube, you can also follow me on my Instagram, where I post more frequently and I do a lot of like bump dates. My Instagram name is Wife to Magana, WIFETOMAGANA. So you can follow me there and you can see how I'm doing much quicker that way. Before I go, I just want to do a little bump date. I've grown a lot since the first time I've shown you my bump, I think. Anyways, I mean, I could still look bloated and I can still easily hide my bump, but there's still a lot of progress since last time. I'm currently working on editing the video of all of the pregnancy symptoms I had in my first trimester, but I realized I forgot to mention I also got to see my baby during the first trimester. I went in when I thought I was 8 weeks, and they told me that the baby was measuring about a week behind. Not too surprising considering I have irregular periods, but I just thought I should mention that. Also, when I got to see the baby, I cried like a baby myself because, well, hormones were high, I was really sick, but also it was such a relief to see the baby's heartbeat for the first time, especially because, like I said in the video, the first trimester I was really paranoid about having a miscarriage. So when I first saw that baby, nothing could explain how good that felt, and I can't wait to see my actual baby and how amazing that's gonna feel. So I just thought I would mention it. Okay, back to the video. Thank you. I will be posting a video hopefully soon, as long as I'm not in any discomfort or pain or whatever, if there's no surprises. Let me know down below if you had the same symptoms that I had. Let me know if you had any weird symptoms that I didn't mention. I'm curious to know. Thank you for watching my video, and I'll see you in the next one, hopefully soon. Bye.